Alright, today is Sunday, August 5th, 2012, and time just rolls on by. Well, at least it feels that way to me. But anyway, today they're going to land that Mars rover called Curiosity. Those of you who don't know, the lander or the rover is going to land on Mars around 11:30 tonight, my time, I think. So that's about a couple hours or so. And they spent over $2.5 billion on this project, and it's going to basically do the same thing, same boring things like the other rovers. Digging here, poking here, see what kind of minerals they have, and see if there's any microbial life. Even though we see a big old face on one side of the planet, and scientists say, no, we don't want to go there, do we? We don't want to go there. We don't want to see who built that. Or the pyramids that we see on Mars. All this shit that we get to see on Mars, and you can see these things. I mean, you can just go to any book that has photos of Mars and you see all these interesting pictures. And I'm just saying, why don't we visit these areas, like where this looks like to me like a subway system. It looks like a glass tunnel that runs through this area of Mars. It doesn't look natural to me. It doesn't look like, oh, it's just coincidence. Just a coincidence that we had, a subway there. That's what they say. By the way, the face on Mars is also a coincidence. It's just a coincidence. Just our imagination. We see two eyes and a nose and a mouth. Fine. Let's just send something up there. Let's send a rover and see what it is. I mean, I'm all for that. Now, if we are wrong, that it's not really artificially built, then we're wrong. And I will admit to that. But until that happens, I'm still going to hold to some beliefs about that. I mean, it's just weird that you see this face on Mars, and then people are just like, oh, it's nothing, it's a mile wide long. Yeah, but if you look at it from above, it looks like a human face. Now, we're spending a lot of money on this, and for some reason, we don't want to see these areas, or maybe you are looking at areas that are very interesting, but they're not telling us. And I know this. I had a friend of mine who worked as a NASA pilot, as a test pilot, and he said, yeah, I mean, they shoot things, with cameras. They go to Mars, they go to other planets, they go to Uranus, or Uranus, if you want to call it that. And they shoot very interesting things. What he says is that what's going on Mars is that there might be something really fishy. What he thinks, and I don't know if it's true or not, again, I'm just laying it out there for you. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to say, Jose, that's, all I can say it might be true is that he says that there are people living on Mars. And that there are colonies of people. And that he was told by his bosses that he worked for in NASA, and also from people that he worked with on these secret projects. And he says, yeah, Jose, we have bases in Antarctica, we have bases in, it's just weird shit. It's pretty weird. It's pretty strange if you ask me. So, but everybody's all hyped up about this rover called Curiosity. Well, if you're really curious, land that damn rover in that area where you have that human face and all those pyramids around it. Oh, no, we can't do that, Jose. You're crazy. You're crazy. So, anyway, what's going to land, let's see what happens with that. everybody's crossing their fingers because during the entry phase of the rover, there is 7 minutes of pure hell. That's what they call it. in which anything can go wrong and can destroy the whole thing, right? So I don't know if it's gonna have parachutes, it's gonna have inflatable cushions that will make it land. I'm not sure, but I haven't really read up on that. And I do remember when it launched, and God, it's been, it's already been that long. Time sure goes by fast, doesn't it? But when we got controversies here on planet Earth, like Chick-Fil-A, oh no, time goes by really slowly for me. It's painful. It is very painful to see this shit. It really is. I mean, I'm just trying to be here, try to educate people. I'm trying to, at least, if I don't educate anybody, that's fine. At least try to open your minds a little bit. I want to encourage everybody to really just do their homework and do their research. And like I said many times before, yes, of course Chick-Fil-A is involved in donating to Family Research Council. And people are saying, Jose, that's not really a big deal. The Family Research Council is not a hate group. Also, comparing gay people to pedophiles and criminals and what else? To box turtles, I mean, that's not hateful, is it? It's loving. I mean, the one thing is that if I call one of my friends a pedophile, he's going to get pissed. Why do I do that? Why do I do that? I mean, if that's the new normal, if we're going to redraw lines, if we're going to redefine what it means to be civil in this society, then what we can say is, if I tell my friend you're a pedophile, he's supposed to love me now because I call him a pedophile? Well, the Family Research Council calls gay people pedophiles, and they're not a hate group. They're the opposite of the hate group, right? They love gay people. They love us so much that they want us in jail just in case something happens to us, right? They want to keep us safe from all the homophobes out there, so they're going to put us in jail. I mean, that's the scheme. And people don't believe me on this, so later on, I'm going to play you that clip where the head of policy, Peter Sprague, of the Family Research Council, he went on the Tweety Bird show with Chris Matthews, Tweety Bird, and he told them straight out that yes, we want to throw gays in jail. That's what he said. But that's a whatever. Anyway, on Friday, we were supposed to have a kiss-in. What happened to that? Well, you had a couple of homos out there. Oh, yes, they were kissing. And we had a couple of lesbians going to a few of these Chick-Fil-A's. And the point was, what exactly? I don't know. To me, I mean, look, this whole thing was pretty much a disaster from the beginning. But what really bugged me was, of course, what the mobster Rahm Emanuel said when he said that he wanted to ban Chick-fil-A's from Chicago, and there's only one of them. There's only one Chick-fil-A in Chicago. The thing that people don't know is that most of these pictures that they take of people lining up with these Chick-fil-A's, and they, oh, look at these long lines, oh, they look really busy. Look at the drive-thru line. Damn, it's going around the block. It's going down 2 blocks. Damn, that cat is really making dough, is he? Well, yeah, he is. But the thing is that you have to understand that many of these areas, Chick-fil-A, there's only one Chick-fil-A in the whole entire city. So, obviously, it's going to be packed. Now, if you have 2, 3, or 4 of these restaurants, there might be less people at these restaurants. Ever thought about that, Shakespeare? Nope. So to me, this whole kissing was a failure. It had no purpose. And whoever thought of it should just go ahead and do an It Gets Better video and shoot themselves. Come on. This is ridiculous. I mean, what was the whole point of kissing? Go out there and kiss, and then what? Fact of the matter is that Dan Cathy has made his money, $30 million, and he has basically just laughed his way to the bank. Who won here? Of course, was it the right-wing reactionaries? No. It was Dan Cathy. Gay people, we didn't win anything. We lost something. I do feel that way. I do feel that we lost an opportunity. And also, we lost this, well, if you want to call it a battle. I don't call it a battle. People wanted battle. People wanted to fight this. And I said, look, all we have to do was to put the information out there and let everybody find out on their own, do their own research. But hey, we can do it on our own. Okay, just list the bullet points. This is what the Chick-Fil-A company does. And that was all pretty much what we wanted to do. But no, that wasn't it. We wanted to go and ban Chick-fil-A from certain cities. And then we had, of course, Kristen Quinn, the lesbian speaker of the New York City Council. Then we had this gay alderman in Chicago. Then we had those other people. Then we had the mobster, that ugly, pathetic mobster, Rahm Emanuel, basically just ripping us apart. If you think that guy's on our side, think again. Okay. I mean, Michael Bloomberg, the mayor of New York, I don't agree with him in many things, but he was the voice of reason and say, you know what, I hate Chick-fil-A, but I'm not going to ban them. You don't want to do that, because then we look like the bad guys, and then their irrational fears of us being homo-fascist and all this really much are vindicated by these stupid pricks who don't know what they're doing. I think that Rahm Emanuel really, I don't know what happened to that guy. I mean, that guy really pretty much fucked everything up when he said what he said. And of course that pretty much riled up everybody. That riled up all the Sarah Palin bulldogs and all the, I don't know. Well, Sarah Palin has bulldogs. That's all of her followers. And we had Lady Gaga has little monsters. So what does... Ah, yes, I know. For Mike Huckabee, we could have what? Fatzos of America? Well, Mike Huckabee, you know, he's a health fanatic. Nothing wrong with that. I wish I could be more of a fanatic for that. Sometimes I do eat really shitty food, and I try to stay away from fast food, and I have. But lately, I have been with the sodas and everything. You know, that's not really good with all that corn syrup. But then, you know, Mike Huckabee, he was a fanatic of losing weight and, you know, being healthy and everything. Now he's telling people to go eat all this deep fried chicken sandwiches. Oh, really? All for what? I mean, if you really want to really want to get down to this, what has Mike Huckabee and all these other people who support Chick-fil-A and went to that appreciation day and went to your local Chick-fil-A, what did you accomplish besides clogging up more of your arteries? What else did you accomplish that day? I mean, what did you accomplish? Seriously, think about this. Because today, you made a man $30 million in one day. And of course, according to another rich tycoon, remember, only tycoons support gay marriage. Another rich tycoon by the name of Herman Cain. Oh, yeah. The pizza guy. Well, he's a CEO of the pizza. Well, he was, wasn't he? Or I don't know if he still is there. Herman Cain had a personal conversation with Dan Cathy, and he said that Dan Cathy made $30 million. And he said that most of the money is going to be donated to the same charities that we gay people hate. So here's the thing. What did we learn from this? Is that if we have mobsters who are supposedly on our side, I mean, why do you want to have a mobster like Rahm Emanuel on our side? Why do we need that freak, that criminal on our side? We don't need that bozo. I mean, look at that creature, that gargoyle. What a fucking freak. And he's on our side, and he's doing all this shit. He's riling, he's telling people that he's gonna ban Chick-Fil-A, and then all of a sudden, after that, all this onslaught of neoconservatives, social conservatives, paleoconservatives, Dixiecrats, you have all these other people coming out of the woodwork supporting Chick-fil-A, going to their restaurants. Believe me, if that motherfucker would have stayed quiet, if he would just shut the fuck up, none of this would have happened. Yes, there would have been some tension. But not that many people would have gone to the Appreciation Day if there was an Appreciation Day. But once we started with this old ban Chick-fil-A thing, that's when things started to go a little bit off. So, I hope we learned our lesson. Because if we didn't, I mean, we're fucked. We have an election coming up where we have 4 states that we have to kind of win. If you care. I don't know if you care or not, but I kind of do. I want to protect the economic rights of the gay community. I don't know about you, but that's what I want. Anyways, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. I've been on Facebook, and I shouldn't be on Facebook. So, I don't know what attracts me to it lately. When it first came out, when everybody was on it, I was like, eh. But of course, I started this, my blog and everything else. People want to know where they can follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. The Real Jose Soto. That is my Twitter account. The Real Jose Soto. You can go ahead and follow me on Twitter. I'm going to have a Facebook page pretty soon. I just haven't gotten around to it. I have many other things that I'm taking care of. But we'll get that up soon. And on Facebook, I've been on it quite lately, and I've been commenting on several articles. And look, something really clicked into me when I was taking a shower last night, that free speech, because that's what everybody's... If you go to all these articles and you read all these comments, and you go to Facebook, you read people what they're talking about Chick-fil-A or on Twitter, you're going to see people saying, oh, Jose, this is all about free speech. We're not really endorsing what Dan Cathy is saying, but this is about free speech. It's about free speech. And it just dawned on me, wait a minute. It's not really about free speech. I mean, we wouldn't let the KKK open up a store for their, for their hats and their gowns, would we? This whole thing really left me at odds with what the free speech debate is all about, because for me, it's not about free speech. For me, it's about the speech itself. Alright? But of course, it really just dawned on me that, hey, this is free speech, Jose. So I went on Facebook and I exercised my free speech because, hey, since all of you who support Dan Cathy are clogging your arteries for his free speech, what about my free speech? So yes, some lady was really mad at me on Facebook, by the way, because I called her fat. Well, she is fat. Look at her fat face. Look at her picture. God, she looks like a hippopotamus. You say, Jose, why are you being judgmental? Well, first of all, unlike being gay or unlike other human attributes, being obese is for the most part a choice. And you can reverse it. You can get fit, you can, reduce your body your body weight. And the only way that you can do that is by exercising and getting a diet. And most of these people don't want to do that. They want to eat what the fuck they want, and they want to stay fat. Okay, that's your thing. But it's unhealthy. I mean, how the fuck? I mean, this woman, I asked her, hey, so what are you? Are you single? You're married? And she's like, I'm single. She answered that bit, and until I went into, until I kind of nailed her to the cross about her weight. I mean, she was a hippopotamus. She was huge. I mean, how do you expect to get laid like that? I mean, no straight guy will want to fuck you. Not even a gay guys won't even fuck. I mean, they'll hang out with you because you're, a jolly fag hag. But no way, no man's ever gonna touch you with a 40-foot pole. Unless if you drug him and rape the guy. But this fat woman was really not having it. She was really mad. She was angry and pissed that I called her fat. She's fat. And it's unhealthy to be fat. You fucking pig. Fucking disgusting fat lard motherfucker bitch. Of course it is fucking. And you might be saying, whoa, Jose, why are you going off like that? It's free speech, baby. It just dawned on me. Fuck being nice. Fuck being civilized. I mean, if I can say that gay marriage is twisted and offend gay people and say that they're shaking their fist at God, committing spiritual bullying against gay Christians, why not? People are saying that's good, that Dan Cathy had the balls to come out. Well, I have the balls to say whatever I want to. You're a fucking fat bitch and you should lose weight. Stupid cunt. What about that? Take them apples. You don't like that? Oh, I'm so sorry. But it's my free speech, baby. And you're a fucking fat pig. So she didn't like that. Well, I didn't really say she was a fucking fat pig. I just said that, her weight was an issue. She's fat. I did say the F word, which was fat. And I did call her a fucking, I did call her a fat, ugly hippopotamus. You have to respect my right to free speech. And not only that, I want the same treatment. Every time I insult somebody, I want $30 million. That's my free speech. That is my right. And if I don't get what I want, I don't know what I'm going to do. But since everybody is doing this whole free speech thing. By the way, free speech has existed since the creation of this country. And we've had many debates on this, and and we still cannot get it right. People don't understand what it is. It means that the government cannot come in and shut you down or censor you. You get that? It doesn't mean that you're free from criticism or free from backlash for the things that you say. All right, so yeah, she wasn't really happy about that. I was like, "Oh, fuck you, you fucking lardo, fucking toad." And her face looked, she was fucking ugly too. I mean, if I was straight, I would not look at this shit. I told her, thank God I'm fucking straight. I mean, gay. Thank God I'm a fucking homo. I wouldn't have to bang that fucking ugly lard ass. Thank goodness I don't have to bang that lard ass. Wait a minute, if you go on the Drudge Report, which I did today, I found something really interesting there. Drudge was mad today because there was a comic that made Colorado shooting jokes at the Rosenbar roast. I haven't seen that lately. When is that, by the way? Is that today? Anyway. So a comic makes Colorado shooting jokes at the Rosenbar roast. Ooh. Now, here's the thing. When a comic made anti-gay jokes, and I remember this goes back to George Lopez. It wasn't just, what's his name, Tracy Morgan. Remember that stupid little shit? Yeah, Tracy Morgan. And believe me, I don't like many comics. I'm pretty I'm pretty atheist regarding comedy. I mean, I like comedy. I like certain aspects of comedy. It's just that for me, I think wit, slapstick, Family Guy-ish kind of comedy, yeah, that's fine. That's fun. And some people think that there should be limits. Well, here's the thing. When we had Tracy Morgan on, and he said what he said about what he wanted to stab a gay kid, right? If his kid was to come out to be gay, he was going to stab him, right? And of course, the gay community was all in an uproar about this. He had to apologize. He didn't lose his job, but then we have that Oscar producer. Remember him? What was his name? Ratner? I forgot his name. But he was the producer of the Oscars, and he said that rehearsing is for fags, which I don't think it was really meant towards gay people. But he got fired. He had to quit. He got fired. He lost his job. But Tracy Morgan, no, he kept his job. But Radner, is that guy a comic? No, he's just a producer, I think. So Ratner was fired, because he's a producer and a director. Oh, he's a director. That's right. But if you're a comic, anything goes, supposedly, right? That there were some limits. Well, remember the whole what's his name again? God, I forgot his name. Michael Richards. Yes. Michael Richards. Remember that guy? Seinfeld. Well, he went on the stage and he called a black guy a nigger. Oh, that's supposed to be funny. But then we go to Tracy Morgan, and this always happens with gay people. You see, when we talk about race, religion, we talk about the Jews, or make jokes about them, or make jokes about these other groups, especially blacks. When we make fun of them, you have to be really, really, really careful because of the political correctness. In this country, political correctness really does run our society in a way regarding race and religion. You cannot offend people based on their race, but you can offend people based on their sexual orientation. That is good. That is wholesome. And I don't get that. I just don't get it. I thought you shouldn't offend anybody, period. But if you're a comic, it's different. So what I decided to do is that, okay, I'm not going to go after comics. After the whole fiasco with Tracy Morgan, I said, fine. Comics are allowed to do and say whatever the hell they want on the stage. I don't care anymore. I'm not, I have taste in some comics. I like some comics, some stand-up comics and prop comics and all that. I can go to a comedy show that I like, and I will definitely have a good time. But I don't get this whole notion that bashing gays somehow is going against the political correctness crowd. Oh yes, no, I'm fighting political correctness. Stand with me, Chuck Norris, as we fight political correctness. But yet, when people say racist things like Michael Richards, you're not fighting political correctness. You're just being an asshole, right? You're a racist asshole. But if you're bashing gays on stage, people swamped to defend Tracy Morgan. Nobody came in to defend Ratner. And that guy was fired. Nobody came in, except for Howard Stern, who was an ally of the gay community. He came out and he defended Ratner. That was about it. But nobody everybody swamped the internet, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. Every article about this issue with Tracy Morgan. Yeah. Everybody was defending the guy. I don't know what's this. Some people say it's homophobia. I don't know what it is. But when you bash gay people vocally, right? It seems like a good thing. It's like you're going against political correctness. You're going against and you're being pushed to bash gay people because this is a cool thing, because now you're going against the grain Now you're being edgy. Now you're being this. And meanwhile, you hurt people's feelings, right? Like I did with this fat girl, and you don't care about it anymore. Is that the kind of society that you want to live in which we hurt everybody else for the sake of just doing it? I mean, I just don't get that. So what I did was, comics, do whatever the hell you want. I drew my line, and I said on the internet, I said, Jose Soto, I'm not going to criticize comics. Even if they say the word nigger, even if they say that they, thank God for Hitler and he should have killed more Jews, I don't care anymore. Because obviously, the stand-up comic stage, I think, is a relic. Is like this holy sanctimony you can't even touch. And somebody told me that. It was a comic, a liberal comic, by the way, who's a big Obama supporter. I'm not going to say his name, but he's kind of well known. But he told me in private, and he was fed up with my criticism of Tracy Morgan. And he said, shut up, Jose. Comics have, we are the last bastion of free speech. We are the last bastion, well, this is not, but it's bullshit, okay? Pornography is the last bastion of free speech. Let me tell you that. I mean, there are a lot of other bastions of free speech. Going up on stage and saying that you want to kill your gay son is not the last bastion of free speech. I can't get that. But he said that, and I said, fine. Here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to draw the line right here. Whatever you comics do, I don't care anymore. But now we do. Because everybody was defending Tracy Morgan, right? Except for the gays. All of us were. And everybody says, like, what's the problem with the gays? Why are gay people so uptight? Why do they have their panties in a twist? I don't know, gee, because we got offended. I mean, I know we shouldn't be offended at many things. I wasn't offended. I was just kind of like, wait a minute. Michael Richards was thrown off the stage, and this guy is being defended. What are the standards here? That's what I was saying. Anyway, we'll be right back after a short break. Comedy, as this comic friend of mine told me, is the last bastion of free speech, right? And so if you're a comic, you are allowed special license to say and do whatever you want. You see, I wasn't aware of that until this whole, I mean, except for the Michael Richards incident, that's a special occasion in which Michael Richards deserved to be thrown off the stage. And he didn't get any more gigs, any more jobs as a comic. What happened to his free speech? I mean, if you cannot say the word nigger to a black guy, what country is this, right? How about being a decent human being? Right? Don't call a black guy a nigger. Don't say that you want to kill a gay kid. I mean, is this how low you have to be funny these days? I don't know. But the comic told me, doesn't matter, Jose, doesn't matter what I think, doesn't matter what I feel, you're not human. I mean, this is the new transhuman theology, I call it. It's basically a religion now. That a certain idea is worth more than a human. Like protecting the trees. And remember, I told you that story. I think I have to retell the story again some other time. Is that I have Green Party friends, greenies, who support the green environmental movement. And one of them told me straight out, Jose, I believe a tree has more value than a human. And most of these anti-human people are just, I mean, look at their faces. I mean, they look like fucking vampires, if you ask me. I mean, they look miserable, number one. I mean, look at other people who defend this kind of garbage. They are miserable people. And they love to see other people in misery. They love to see gay people suffering. I mean, that's what this whole Chick-Fil-A was all about. They did it to piss us off. And we gave in. You know, if we were just ignore this, you know, this whole, like, appreciation day and not have this stupid kissing, which was a failure, by the way. Nobody came out to that. Yeah, a few gay guys here and there, but that's it. Nobody came out to that. It was a complete failure. Besides, the gay media's not even reporting on it anymore. It's over. I mean, like, everybody just forgot about this kissing that we were supposed to have. The mainstream media, like, I think Reuters and the AP, they picked it up, obviously. But they just didn't follow up on it. There's no follow-up on this. What happened? Well, this is what happened. It failed. It's dead. Nothing happened. Chick-Fil-A won for today. But on Drudge, go on Drudge Report today, which is, of course, Alex Jones thinks that Drudge and him are friends now. You're wrong. Boy, is that guy very delusional. But if you go to Drudge, you'll see this link up there about a comic that made a joke about the Aurora, Colorado shootings. You know, the shootings during the Batman movie. This guy, this psychopath, and I already went through all of that. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see all the you'll see a show that I had. I think it's the first show of this new season of my show, the Jose Soto Show. You'll see how the whole Batman incident, the whole Batman shooting came out, and the weird circumstances surrounding that shooting and that tragedy. But yes, you might say, Jose, it's too soon to make any jokes about that. You know, just like Gilbert Gottfried, you know, he made jokes about 9/11, right? Remember that? And then he made a joke about the tsunami incident in Japan. And he had to drop his gig at Aflac. Remember that? Some of you may recall that news. But here's the strange part, is that conservatives, or populist conservatives, whatever that means, because conservatism is not really popular. If you really go and read the polls, people in this country are not conservatives, and not, you know, they're moderates. We are a moderate nation. We don't subscribe to the fringe fanaticism of the right or the fringe fanaticism of the left. That's how we vote. And that's why we go back and forth. I mean, we shouldn't be doing that. We should just stay put and be established as a moderate country. But we don't do that, right? So, the right wing and the Drudge Report, and I don't consider that to be a right-wing news website. But of course, you know, Matt Drudge, he subscribes to, he says so himself, he's a populist, conservative, and he's also a homo, by the way. Just want to let you know. It's kind of funny that people, all of these hate, you know, these homophobes, they read the Drudge Report and they don't know that Matt Drudge himself is a homo. They don't even know that. So that's kind of funny. In a way, it's funny. Pathetic, but funny. So, Matt Drudge, who's a closeted homo, says that he's very offended by this offensive comic making jokes on the Colorado shootings. And yet, in the same breath, not that long ago, we were celebrating Appreciation Day for Chick-Fil-A for them expressing their offensive free speech. You might say, Jose, it's not offensive. Well, to some people, it is offensive. And it wasn't even about free speech. It's what they did. And you might say that donating money is a form of free speech. Let's take that point of view, which is totally bullshit. But let's just say that's the point of view that you have. Okay. So why are we then offended when a comic makes a joke about the Aurora shooting? I thought that was off limits. We couldn't touch comedy. Comedy is the holy grail of free speech, the last bastion of free speech, as I was lectured heavily by this comic. I mean, he ate me alive. I mean, that guy was pissed that I was criticizing Tracy Morgan. Alright, so why are we then criticizing this comic then? What's the big deal? So what if they make a joke about the Aurora shooting? So what? Free speech, baby. So what if I call a fat lady a fat pig lardo ass? It's free speech. And if I go tell my best friend, one of my best friends who's straight and he had a kid, and I go to his house and I say, hey, your kid is fucking butt ugly. Free speech, baby. You have to take it. Free speech. It's my right to offend people in this country, whether you like it or not. You want to get ugly? Alright, let's get ugly then. I mean, I'm so fucking pissed off about this. I mean, it just dawned on me the hypocrisy of this whole free speech bullshit. Because if you want to say that people have a free speech, and you know, which is obviously true, it's in the Constitution, people have a right to say whatever they want without fear of censorship. That's the point of the First Amendment. But if you're talking about now that it's beyond that now. Now they're saying that you have a right to own a business based on your free speech. So I want $30 million right now because I call a fat lady a lardo pig ass. Oh, I don't remember exactly what I called her. It was some of those words I called her. Fat lardo. I called her a fat lardo. No man wants to touch her. Of course, she's a fat ass. What do you expect? No guy will ever get a boner. You get that? Straight guys don't like fat ladies. Some of them do because they have a fetish. But most straight guys will never touch that shit. Alright? Jose, you're being insensitive. Well, I'm expressing my free speech. I'm expressing my free speech. And I have a right to a business now. I have a right for you to support my free speech financially. Like Dan Cathy. I want you to support my free speech. I don't care how offensive it is. I don't care what I say. And you shouldn't care either. Because it's my right for you not to care. And it's my right that you support me. Right? Well. Then Rush Limbaugh. Oh, yeah. Well, see, Rush Limbaugh called a woman a slut. Right? And what did the right-wing reactionaries do? They defended him, right? They came to his defense. Alex Jones, who surprised the shit out of me. That's why I told some of my friends who watch Alex Jones, and I told them, hey, this is what he's doing. I don't know why you want to listen to that guy and subscribe to him. I don't know why you want to do that for. He supports Rush Limbaugh. And people came to his defense, but when a comic, when somebody else who's not a reactionary or a right winger says something offensive, we are all supposed to sit back and shut up because it's offensive. Now, Jane Lynch. Well, let me go to the Rush Limbaugh thing here first. Rush said that Chick-Fil-A Appreciation Day is a giant Tea Party rally. And Obama will be Chick-Fil-A'd. What the hell is that? And he went on, of course, about free speech. What else can he say? What else can you say? You cannot defend... Here's the thing. You cannot defend what the guy said, Dan Cathy. You cannot defend what he said on the merits. Of course you can't. You can't defend the guy. Some of them do. Some of them, yeah, the Bible, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you gay people should be thrown in jail and you should be executed. And I've seen those comments. But most of the people that defend Dan Cathy are saying, it's free speech. And I've seen even parents of gay people. There's one gay dude, he wrote to The Advocate, and he wrote this op-ed in which his mother and father went to Chick-fil-A. They took a picture and everything. They said, hey, we're here at Chick-fil-A. The gay son was livid about this. But according to the parents, they were just there to support free speech. And I say, well, why didn't you go and buy a ticket for Michael Richards and support his free speech? I mean, what's so special about this free speech? Free speech is free speech. Support it all. But it's funny, though, that these reactionaries would be so antagonistic to other forms of free speech, though. For instance, conservatives want to stop adult bookshops. Remember that? Have you ever heard of an adult bookshop? Probably not. Now we have the internet. But it wasn't that long ago in which many cities had adult bookshops where you could go and buy some porno. Most of it was magazines. You could go in there and do that. But you had the 1 Million Moms crowd, which back then was, I think, if I'm correct, Concerned Women of America, led by a guy. Concerned Women of America, and their president was a man. And with the help of the I think it was Florida Family Association, and then they went to Florida, and they banned bookshop after bookshop. What about their free speech? Don't they have a right to make money out of their free speech too, like Dan Cathy? No, it's adult bookshop. So what? The Supreme Court has stated that adult material, naughty magazines, have a right to be published under the First Amendment. Just like you have a right to publish the Ten Commandments, just like you have the right to publish a Bible, or a Watchtower magazine, or any of that bullshit. Or what about this? Remember that news article about, well, I think this was in Utah. They banned, or was it in Pennsylvania? I don't remember. There was one case in Utah and another case in Ohio. Was it Ohio or Pennsylvania? I have to make sure. No, Illinois. Now, I got this. It was in Illinois. A school district banned books because they had a lesbian parent in there. A book that had two moms. Oh, no, you can't have that. Throw it away. Time to burn that book. Time to have a good old book burning. If you don't want your kid to read a book about two moms, then don't let him read it. But you know what? There are other parents who may want their kid to read that. I personally will not let my kid read that until he's in his, at least in his early teens, maybe 13, 14. But, you know, because to me, sexuality is really complex. And I don't want him to make wrong assumptions about things. But there are parents who may let their kids read that book at age 7, 8, or 9. And that's their thing. Maybe they have a lesbian aunt or a lesbian grandmother, or they have a lesbian relative, or they had to, you know, and this is their way to help their kid understand that. You know, they have, and the book's not even that offensive. It just has two moms in it. It's a children's book that was banned because it had two moms in it. Oh, but conservatives are all about free speech. That's why they defend it, Dan Cathy, because it's free speech. But God forbid, you're right, a children's book with two moms in it. Oh no, that we cannot. Oh no, throw that book to the fire. Throw it out now. I don't care what you stand for. I don't care if you're a right-winger or a left-winger. All I care is consistency, and I hate hypocrisy. I hate it. Oh well, what can you do? We'll be right back after this short break. Now, another thing I want to say to these reactionaries who are supporting Chick-Fil-A is that, is this all you got? Is this it? I mean, you're going to have to look forward to the future. Not just this week, not just this month, and probably this whole thing is still going to be alive, you know, still fresh in our minds. You know, this Chick-fil-A thing is more fresh in our minds than the Colorado shootings. How lame is that, by the way? I mean, it's just really lame. But, like I said, these people that support Chick-fil-A, do you think they're going to go and support a library and, you know, help them not ban a children's book that has two moms? No, they're not for free speech. So here's the thing. The people who support, get this to your head, all right? Those of you who support Chick-Fil-A because of free speech, you're lying to me and you're lying to yourself. You're not doing this for free speech. Fuck free speech. You don't care about free speech. It has nothing to do about fucking free speech. This is all about you supporting a homophobic company. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Fuck that shit. You think I was born yesterday? I analyze these things. I compare and contrast. That's what you do. You analyze things. You put them into perspective. Is somebody really genuine about free speech, or are they just doing it because it has a cover to support a homophobic company? I don't know about this. Anyway. But like I said, they're willing to ban adult bookshops. They're willing to ban these children's books that have two mommies or two daddies. Oh my god, you cannot have two mommies and daddies. But you can go ahead to GameStop and buy a very violent video game where you can chop people's heads off and eat their guts. Oh, that is healthy. But you cannot, God forbid, you're going to see a children's book with two mommies in it. It's going to blow your head off. Oh, golly. What kind of a country do we live in, ladies and gentlemen? I thought free speech, okay, free speech, fine. You can buy a damn video game and blow somebody's heads off, eat their guts, or do whatever you want, rape them. I don't know. I don't know what these games are about, but these games are very violent. And that's fine. I'm not going to be out there with a sign saying ban these video games. I believe in free speech. You see, I'm a person. I don't need to say I believe in free speech. My actions speak for themselves. Do you see me at these protests against Chick-Fil-A? No, I don't, because I think that they have a right to do business. I do believe that we shouldn't ban Chick-Fil-A's. That's not right. Just like I don't believe we should ban a children's book because it has two mommies. But they're willing to do that, aren't they? They're right there, ready to ban those books. Ready to throw them in the fire and have a nice bonfire of books. By the way, who's the first leader in the modern world to ban and burn books? Adolf Hitler. All of this thought about banning books and banning and burning books came from right-wing Nazism, reactionism. That's where it all came from. And some people might get offended by that. What? Oh, you're offended? Free speech, honey. Free speech. It's my free speech. I can say whatever the fuck I want. Right? It's funny when these anti-gay people, when they get banned from YouTube because they say really anti-gay stuff. Like there's one 14-year-old little shithead, right? He was saying anti-gay stuff and then he was banned from YouTube, and then he was whining and complaining that his free speech was violated. Really? Well, here's the thing. I'm not pissed off, but I do want to say things that I cannot really say because this is going to end up on YouTube. So I can't really say many things I really want to say. In fact, yes, I'm tailoring my free speech based on the terms of service for YouTube. Because, yeah, I mean, I wish I could say something else. I wish I could say a lot of things I want to say. But I am a gentleman enough not to say them, and I respect the terms of service that I agree with YouTube. YouTube is a private company. Their servers are privately owned. And according to the Boy Scouts of America versus Dell, which is a landmark decision by the Supreme Court of the United States, where you have the rats, Roberts, Alito, Thomas, Scalia, ruling. Oh, actually, Roberts wasn't there, and Alito wasn't there, but it was Thomas and Scalia, and it was the previous Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Okay, and I think a few other justices. But Scalia was all up in that shit. I mean, he said that the Boy Scouts have a right to discriminate against gays because that's their free speech right. They're a private entity, and they have a right to express whatever they want to express. And then on this other case, I always point out these two cases to conservatives. Whenever they bitch about that they can't say anti-gay stuff on YouTube, well, here's the thing. YouTube is a private company. It's a private club. Alright? Just like we're not allowed, gay people are not allowed to march in the St. Patrick's Day parade in Boston or New York. We're not allowed to march in those parades. Well, I'm not Irish, so I don't care. But there are gay Irish people that want to march in those parades and have a gay Irish contingency for the Irish parade, for the St. Patrick's Day parade. But they can't because the organizers say that's anti-Catholic, whatever their bullshit excuse is. And the Supreme Court ruled in their favor, ruled in the favor of the parade organizers. Right? You cannot just go into a private club's message and destroy it. And destroy it with your message. So if you're on YouTube talking shit about gay people and using Google as a platform for that, Google's not gonna like it, and because they're pro-gay, they have a different message, and they have a right to take it away, and they have a right to shut you down on their servers. You get that? You don't like that? Then why did you support that ruling when it came down? See, conservatives, just like liberals, are very stupid. Let me just say that. Can I just say that? You guys are really pathetic, and you're stupid, and you're fucking idiots. You do something, you get a ruling that you want at the Supreme Court, and then guess what? It comes back and bites you in the ass. Doesn't it? Now, a lot of these religious types are saying, don't discriminate against me if I want to discriminate against somebody. You know. What happened to the humanity of all this? I mean, I'm just concerned because these people have become nothing but fanatics and ideologues on the left and on the right. And what I'm saying is, what happened to the sense of humanity? What happened to caring about people's feelings? And when you say that, you look feminized. You look like you're somebody that is just, you know, bourgeois, cliche. And they don't, you know, and a lot of these people, especially conservative reactionaries, don't want feelings to be involved in this. But they use their feelings all the time. I mean, this whole reaction to the Chick-Fil-A fiasco from the right wing was all emotional. Oh, we have to support Dan Cathy. He's a real Christian. Oh, we have to support Dan Cathy, support traditional marriage. In fact, this whole fighting against gay marriage is all emotional as well. Because their rights are not being taken away. Their economic rights to a fair trial, to... Besides, I always say now that the gay marriage fight is no longer really about equality. It's about Fourth Amendment rights. A right to a fair hearing. Because what happens is that when you are married outside of the law or outside of the purview of the court, because that's what happens when you don't get a marriage license, is that you don't have a chance to have a fair trial when something when you have a divorce or when one of them dies, whenever you can't have a fair hearing at a court, so you're deprived from going to a court, or deprived. So that's what really, I think, that's my new argument now for gay marriage. That's one of my new arguments. And one of them is, of course, I mean, I don't want to get into that now, but the Fourth Amendment is one other thing, too. Some people don't, I think Ted Olson really brought that up in the Prop 8 trial. I think that was also brought up, the Fourth Amendment, and it just dropped. You can't drop that. It's very important as well. In fact, I think it's more important than the 14th Amendment. I think it is. I mean, if you talk about equality, where can you secure that equality is in the courtroom. That's where you can secure your equality, be equal to your nemesis. Doesn't matter if you're suing or the President of the United States, or you're suing Donald Trump, you will be hopefully faced equal under the law in the courtroom. But that sometimes doesn't happen. That's why this whole business of people saying, oh, gay people don't need to get married, they just need powers of attorneys. Bullshit. I have seen people's powers of attorney shred up into little pieces by the courts. The courts usually try to uphold the laws and execute the laws, but most of the time they will not. They will make it up, especially in civil law. I'm talking about civil law because all this is about civil law. In civil law, usually the court, unless if you have a marriage license, the court will shred up whatever you have. Power of attorney, fuck you. The family members of your partner are questioning that power of attorney. They have more money than you. They get an attorney. You have to spend $15,000 in lawyer's fees, right, to fight this. And then once, you know what? And I met families, homophobic families that do this, and they do this in California too. Like they will even question a civil partner. What's it called? A domestic partnership. They will challenge that in court because it's not a marriage. And they went to court, and I see these, but the judge will say, but this is domestic partnership is recognized under state law, and they'll say no, but under federal law, blah blah blah. And then the attorneys for the homophobic family, they will bring up any legal excuse to shred up that domestic partnership. Bring up any excuse. It's a little harder to shred it up because it's an official legal document created by the Secretary of State, not the court. See, that's why people say, but civil unions, domestic partnership are the same as marriage. No, it's not, you moron. Look it up. Look how they are solemnized. In fact, a domestic partnership is not even solemnized. It's not. It's a domestic partnership is a document created by the Secretary of State. If the Secretary of State and the governor gives you a domestic partnership, the courts give you marriage. It's the whole different arena. That's why you don't go to court to get a domestic partnership in California. You go to the Secretary of State. And you ever wonder why that happens? Because it's a different thing. So, yes, anybody can challenge a domestic partnership in court because they can say, I didn't see when they got married, or I didn't see a wedding. They can question it. Oh, he probably falsified the signature, because all you have to do is fill this application out, notarize it, and you can have fake notaries. There are fake notaries all over California and everywhere else. And then all you have to do is fake the signature and fake the stamp and everything. Send it to Secretary of State, and then boom, you're set. That's what they challenge. But when you get married, it's a whole different scenario. You have to publicize it. You have to go in front of a judge. You have to go in front of or a clerk of the judge, a clerk of the court. That's why you go in front of a clerk and get married. In California, in Orange County, you get married at the old courthouse. See, that's still there. Still a resemblance. But domestic partnership, you don't do that. You go somewhere else. You go to the Secretary of State, because that's what they did. The court has no obligation to fully protect a domestic partnership in California. They do not. Okay? And I have heard many cases of domestic partnerships being ripped because the judge said, yeah, this looks shaky. And especially if the homophobic family has a lot of money and they want all your possessions, they can get a good attorney and they can shred that domestic partnership to little pieces. Doesn't mean shit. It's not even worth on the paper it's printed on. Now imagine, that's domestic partnerships. Now imagine power of attorneys, medical power of attorneys, all that can be ripped to little, shredded to little pieces, and then fed to the birds. People who say this stupid shit that gay people, all they need is domestic partnerships or civil unions or power of attorney. You don't even need any state recognition. All you need is a power of attorney. They have no experience in reality, no experience in law. They have no experience in what happens when you sign pieces of paper, when you sign an agreement. Every time you sign an agreement, when you sign a contract, you bet your ass that when you go to court, if you go to court, and hopefully you never go to court, but if you go to court, the judge will annul that contract and will go based on either legal precedent, or it will go based on whether or not he or she likes your attorney. That's how it happens in civil courts. Okay? So don't give me this bullshit that all gay people need is just a civil partnership and that's it, you know, you don't need anything else to do it. People are blind. Anyway, I just wanted to clear that up. Because a lot of people have been asking me, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? So, and they asked me about what I think about, well, why don't we just have power of attorney? I mean, we don't need to go through all this marriage thing. And I said, fine, you can do that. But hopefully, your in-laws, hopefully they like you. And if I were you, I would get on the good side. Because once your partner dies, or he separates from you, hopefully the separation will go okay. Because once you separate, all bets are off, and that power of attorney or that prenup or whatever you have, a prenuptial agreement, is not going to save your ass. A judge can easily shred it as easily as you signed it. The judge can easily shred it to little pieces, and I've seen it happen many times to many of my friends. So don't give me this bullshit. Oh, all we need is a power of attorney. All we need is a prenuptial agreement. We don't need marriage licenses. The courts issue those marriage licenses for themselves, so they don't have to go through this bullshit. Whatever you want. If you just want a power of attorney, be my guest. But don't come crying to me when oh no, they're suing me. They're gonna shred my power of attorney. Oh no. Whatever. We'll be right back. Now, I've heard that, or not just that I heard, but I read also this article about this gay artist that vandalized a Chick-Fil-A up in Torrance, California. And oh yeah, we talked about this, didn't we? Or did we? I don't remember. I don't recall. But I read this article about this gay artist who vandalized a Chick-fil-A and put on the wall, "Served with hate." Chicken served with hate, something like that. And he even drew the cow logo and everything, the cow mascot. Well, he has free speech rights, right? But you and I know that this is totally stupid. Not only does it make us look bad, I mean, it's a crime. So we have a stupid prick, a gay artist, and I think he was Mexican too. I'm gonna look that up. Let me find that article. Yeah, here it is. But this really looks silly. It makes everybody look like we are the bad guys. And it vindicates what the reactionaries and the French right wing are doing. These gay people are... You see, they have throughout the decades killed gay people, dragged us in the back of their trucks, chained us up, tortured us, killed us in empty parking lots. I mean, on and on and on. Here we have graffiti, vandalism, and everybody on the right wing is wild up. But if a gay person's car gets vandalized and firebombed like it did in Colorado, oh no, I'm sorry, that's Oklahoma City. I remember that news article. Or if you are a lesbian and you have anti-gay slurs carved into your body, oh no, that, you know, who cares about that? But don't you dare vandalize a Chick-Fil-A. That's a new church. It's like vandalizing a holy grail. I mean, people are so sick. Now this guy, this stupid asshole, what's his name? Manny Castro, you fucking prick. You're nothing but a fucking prick and a loser. Why are you doing this to us? Because this was not just an attack against Chick-fil-A. This was an outright malicious, negligent attack against the gay community. This fucker, who did this, he doesn't give a shit about the gay community. I mean, if he really did, he wouldn't have done this. He would have thought twice and say, wait a minute, this is not going to look good. And then he goes to the media? I mean, if you did this, fine. I mean, I don't encourage this. I think it's bad. It makes us look really stupid. It makes us look like we're the bad guys. And, of course, the right-wingers get all the credit for being the victims. And, oh, we just wanted to make chicken sandwiches. And they're vandalizing us. Even though the gay people's cars being firebombed and everything else. And nobody gives a shit about that, right? I mean, we report it on the gayreport.net, and everybody else is like, oh, it's whatever. Stupid fag. Oh, no, but if you graffiti, put a little paint on a building, Chick-fil-A building, oh, God, you have unleashed the wrath of God himself, of Jesus Christ. He's going to come down and set you straight. No pun intended, by the way. Local gay artist Manny Castro stepped forward to claim responsibility for the graffiti and told the Huffington Post on Friday, you see, this guy, he just wanted media attention. He wanted his 15 minutes of fame. He's a gay artist. He's probably a wash-up artist. He doesn't have a job. And this is a great way to, get attention, get his art out there. I mean, what a fucking prick. And then at the expense of the gay community, this guy really fucks things up. Oh, he's fed up. Here's what a guy says. Oh, this artist is fed up. No. Fed up? I have to reply to this. Fed up? He's looking for attention. Yes, that's what he's doing. He's looking for attention at the expense of the gay community. Simple as that. Alright. I'm done with this. I mean, this really pissed me off. Why would you do something like so stupid like that? I know, I mean, yes, gay people have been bashed and blah, blah, blah. But I thought we should be above this. We should be above this. Fight fire with fire. Unless you want to get burned, then go ahead and do it. Be my guest. But I'm not. It's not even worth it. I mean, what does he accomplish by this? How does he help the gay community? If you're going to help the gay community, do something helpful, right? Open up a LGBT youth shelter or do something. Find the cure for fucking AIDS. How about that? Oh, how about that, genius? Oh, yeah. You could get a fucking Nobel Peace Prize. But no, you moron. What do? You graffiti, vandalize a Chick-fil-A. And remember, these Chick-Fil-A restaurants now are fucking holy grails. They're fucking churches. All right. Every time every time you enter the Chick-Fil-A restaurant now, you have to say a small little prayer. God help us all. Madre Santo Dios de Mía Santa María. You know, something like that. Okay? Anyway, I have to jump course here because somebody emailed me the other day and said, what do you mean Family Research Council wants to throw gays in jail and criminalize homosexuality? Well, here is a clip. I'm not going to tell you what they said. I'm going to let them, the Family Research Council, say it themselves. This is the guy, Peter Sprigg, and he's the head of policy over at the Family Research Council. Let's go ahead and play that clip, and he's going to tell you himself, because people don't believe me. People don't believe me until, maybe if I play this, there might be a chance that you might grasp reality. Although that might not happen. Who knows? People might still be in denial. Anyway, let me just play this clip here then. This is Peter Sprigg, the Family Research Council, talking about how we can imprison gay people. And he's on the MSNBC Hardball show with Chris Matthews, aka Tweety Bird. So this is Tweety Bird asking Peter Sprigg of the Family Research Council if he thinks we should go ahead and criminalize homosexuality.
Do you think we should outlaw gay behavior?
Well, I think certainly.
I'm just asking you, should we outlaw gay behavior?
I think that the Supreme Court decision in Lawrence v. Texas, which overturned the sodomy laws in this country, was wrongly decided. I think there would be a place for criminal sanctions against homosexual behavior.
So we should outlaw gay behavior?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Peter Sprigg. We know your position. It's a clear one. Thank you.
Very clear, yes. Very clear, Tweety. Now, is that clear enough for you guys? Oh, no, that's free speech, Jose. You see, they ignore the content of the words that are being said. Yeah, he said it. I mean, did a brown shirt come into the studio and arrested him for saying this? No. Come on. Be fucking serious here for a second. Tweety Bird asked him, do you believe in criminalizing homosexuality? He said yes, it should be banned. Gay people should go to jail. That's the policy. And this Peter Sprigg, he's the head of policy at the Family Research Council. So let's just get that straight. And this is where your Chick-Fil-A money goes to. And this is where all the money that you guys, that all of you love gay people. Oh, but we want to support Dan Cathy because he supports traditional marriage. And since the beginning, we were not talking about traditional marriage or gay marriage or any marriage. We were talking about Peter Sprigg, Family Research Council, the Exodus International people who went to Uganda and espoused anti-gay behavior and got the Uganda government to try to pass this hideous kill the gays bill. That's what we were talking about. Alright? We weren't talking about anything else. We weren't talking about gay marriage. We weren't talking about Rahm Emanuel. We weren't talking about any other shit. Alright? Anyway. Why do people just I mean, do people listen to what they say? I mean, I listen to what I say, and I'm very careful what I say because I don't want to sound like I contradict myself. And I catch myself sometimes, that I contradict a few things, and I try to clear them up, and I say, no, that's not what I believe, and I clear myself up. I do my homework. And I am very careful what I say. Because I do believe that being consistent is important. Doesn't matter what you believe in, as long as you know why you believe it and you're consistent in that belief. What I hate is people who believe in something, they're not consistent, they're being disingenuous, liars, and hypocrites. That's the worst that you can be under my eyes. And of course, this whole thing was a show of pure hypocrisy. This whole Chick-Fil-A fiasco was a complete and utter show of hypocrisy. It is. I mean, and you had that on the other side too. You had that, this freakazoid Rahm Emanuel saying we should ban Chick-Fil-A. I mean, that's not what we wanted. It would be nice that Chick-Fil-A would go out of business. Just like Walmart should go out of business, and all these other zombie corporations who all they do is eat up the economies and local economies and small businesses. That's what they do. I'm not a fan of franchises, by the way. I'm not a fan of these chains or any of these corporations, mega corporations. I'm not a fan of Starbucks. People are saying we should have a National Appreciation Day for Starbucks. No. How about this? Let's have a National Appreciation Day for Howard Stern. I like that guy. I don't agree with everything he says, but he supports gay marriage. And he bashed Chick-fil-A, and he said the right things, and I subscribe to him. And I subscribe to Howard TV and everything else, and I listen to Howard Stern now almost every day. So, because that was my decision. And other people don't want to, support him, so they just cancel their subscription, and that's fine. So why don't we have that instead? Instead of supporting Starbucks, why don't we support Howard Stern? I would be down for that. I'm still supporting him, right? I mean, let's have 100,000 new subscribers to Howard Stern. Well, how about that? Huh? It's better than Starbucks. I mean, Starbucks is a corporation. Howard Stern is, he's a small business owner, right? He has his own show, right? He's not like a corporation, even though he works for a corporation. Sirius Network, the Sirius XM. But it's better than what we have. It's way better than Starbucks. It's way better than Walmart. It's way better than McDonald's. It's way better than all these multinational corporations that are just eating up our economy, eating up the middle class. I mean, it used to be back in the day that instead of you going to Starbucks or working at a Starbucks, let's say that instead of you working at a Starbucks, you had your own coffee shop. Instead of working at Staples, you had your own stationery store. Now what do? Oh, I'm going to go work at Staples. Oh, I'm going to work at Starbucks. Or I'm going to do... No. What happened to that entrepreneur spirit of this country? When people say, well, I'm going to work at Chick-Fil-A. What are you going to work at Chick-Fil-A for? Open up your own chicken shack. And if they're good, and if you stay out of the political arena, stop donating to anti-gay groups, then you're going to be okay. Anyway, but somebody emailed me yesterday and said, Jose, make sure you talk about the hypocrisy of how 1 million moms, so-called 1 million moms, there are only 17,000 people that are following them. I just confirmed that the other day. So, it's only 17,000 followers that they have. They don't have 1 million moms. And the majority of them are men. White men. I'm not a racist. I'm not a sexist. Just giving you the heads up. It tells me how 1 million moms and the American Family Association, Brian Fisher, and all these other freaks, how they pretty much boycott everything like Ford, General Mills, Starbucks. They boycott all these companies, and how when we want to boycott is, really it's bad. But the thing is, that's not really the hypocrisy that I was looking at. The hypocrisy was what I was listening to. You see, I read all these comments, I read all these tweets, I keep reading all this shit, and all I see is people saying about free speech, free speech, free speech. Yet, when comics say something on the line of, making a joke of the whole Aurora shooting massacre, or you have somebody like Jane Lynch who said fuck you to fuck Chick-Fil-A, and I know tomorrow morning, Monday morning, all these conservative websites are going to be out there. Oh my God, Jane Lynch is a fascist, blah, blah, blah. That's the hypocrisy right there, is that they're not really for free speech. They're all about is just typical anti-gay, Dixiecrat, Scottish Freemasonry philosophy and theology. That's all it's based on. Free speech is that if conservatives really appreciated free speech, they will let gay people boycott and express their disappointment on Chick-Fil-A. But yet we have the gay marriage thing brought up, which it wasn't even the issue. Then the free speech was brought up. Then we have Rahm Emanuel coming in and butting in on this issue. Who wants Rahm Emanuel? I mean, what does he have to do with all this shit? Do gay liberals ever ask themselves, why do these freaks come out of the closet and say this stupid shit like, oh, I'm going to ban Chick-fil-A, we don't need these people. We don't need Pelosi. We don't need Chuck Schumer or any other dumb politician. Who are these freaks anyway? Where were they when we needed to repeal DOMA? Where were they when we needed to enact Employment Non-Discrimination Act? Where were they? Where were they? Oh, they were, kissing it up to the big insurance companies and passing Obamacare. That's what they were doing. Fuck the gay community. Fuck you. Who the fuck are you? You're just a bunch of fags. Die of AIDS. Useless. All we care about is your fucking votes, okay? So this is what we're going to do. You're going to vote us into power, and we're going to do whatever the fuck we want. We're going to make millions of dollars. We're going to help insider traders. We're going to help zombie banks, Wall Street banks, and Wall Street criminals, and white shoe boys, right? We're going to jump up derivatives. We're going to do all these things to rip off the middle class, raise the taxes to the poor, and fuck all of y'all. Fuck you gays. We don't give a shit. That is the mindset of a politician these days. Alright? So don't give me this shit. Oh, Pelosi, she's on our side. I don't give a shit. If she's on our side, then she should have... Did she repeal ENDA? Did she... did she enact ENDA? Did she repeal DOMA? Of course not. She doesn't give a shit. She didn't give a shit. The Democrats had supermajorities in 2009 through 2011. They had supermajorities, did nothing. Nothing. So now they're coming in, now they're waltzing in, I'm gonna ban Chick-fil-A. And then make us look bad? Make us look like the bad guys? Like we're trying to ban Chick-fil-A? Come on. Golly. I mean, I'm so sick of this shit. I'm so sick of these politicians really just fucking it up. They're really good at fucking things up. And they're never really good at helping anybody. They're never really good of, okay, we have a problem. We have a problem with the economic factor, with gay couples, gay marriage, as we call it. We have a problem with the immigration thing, with binational couples. That's a problem. We have a problem with AIDS and HIV. That's still a huge problem. Nobody's talking about it. Yeah, we had a conference the other day. Who gives a shit about that? Right? Who gives a shit about that? Chick-fil-A is more important than this shit. What are we doing? Oh, we're having a kiss-in. Next week, we're going to have a finger-in. Right? We're going to finger each other in front of a Chick-fil-A. See how that works. I am totally fed up with this. Why can't we produce something good for the entire community? Some effective solutions for real problems, right? I don't know. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. This is the end of our show, and hopefully it will be better news tomorrow. I'm Jose Soto. This is the Jose Soto Show. Good night.